I'm Karen Collins. I'm here today with Barbara Rolls, who's professor of nutrition at Penn State University and a widely recognized expert in the topic of energy or calorie density that we talk about here on Smart Bites very often.
Adding water to foods, and of course this primarily means vegetables, fruits, which are mostly water and have lots of good nutrients that you should be eating more of anyway. That's going to really give you a good reduction in calorie density, and it's going to help you to eat fewer calories and get your veggies up. Most people are not eating substituting vegetables. Learning how to add vegetables to recipes wherever you can, chopping, slicing, pureeing, can get vegetable intake up in kids. We've done a number of studies now in preschoolers and in people who don't like vegetables. If you puree them and add them into recipes, you can increase vegetable intake significantly, and that actually can help to reduce calorie intake because it lowers the calorie density of the food. So it's really a very powerful strategy.
You found that in terms of getting more vegetables in, do you see a difference between adding more as a side dish to the meal versus blending them into an entree?
Well, if you give people the option to eat them or not, then you really aren't getting vegetable intake up in people who are so-so about vegetables. If you add them sensitively into recipes so people don't notice them, sneakily, the stealth method if you like, then you can increase vegetable intake in people who don't like them, even preschool kids. And this is really important. People have had some reservations about the sneaky vegetable idea, but we're not ever suggesting that should be the only way you get your vegetables. You clearly need to expose young kids to whole vegetables. You need to be eating them along with your children. But if you improve your recipes by adding some extra vegetables, substituting them for other ingredients, you really can boost vegetable intake. We increased intake in the young kids by just about a cup over a day, which is a really significant.
Especially for children. Yeah. It doesn't need to be one or the other. It can be both and, right?
Oh, it needs to be. I mean, vegetables are so healthy, so powerful for our nutritional well-being, and yet they are the most challenging of the food groups to get people to tackle.
Another strategy that you've used to do this is that you found more variety increases the consumption. So someone who wants to eat more vegetables, or someone who maybe thinks they should but is struggling with it, one larger portion of one vegetable, they'll actually eat more if it's two smaller portions of two different vegetables.
Yes, especially if they like them in the first place. But yes, we found that putting more variety on your plate does significantly increase the amount of vegetables that you eat. Actually, the American Institute of Cancer Research in their cookbook a few years ago was already recommending this, but we have a new study that shows that it really does work. And I think that's important to have the science as we try to leverage these ideas, because obviously offering more variety of vegetables in school services and whatnot could be a strategy that we use to try to get kids to eat more veggies.
So the bottom line message is by changing these recipes in the ways that you've tested at Penn State and that you have in the Ultimate Volumetrics cookbook, making the side dish vegetables more enticing and having more variety.
Yes, and serving really good portions. I mean, we don't want to waste the vegetables, but we have shown that the bigger the portion of the side dish, the more people are likely to eat. So, vegetables in recent years have become a condiment. We barely see them on our plates. It drives me crazy. You go out to a restaurant and you have this huge piece of meat or fish, and buried somewhere are maybe a few spears of asparagus and a couple of green beans, and that's it.
Yes, you ask, are there vegetables that come with this? And they say, oh yes, and then it comes and it's garnish. When you're out, do you adjust to something like that and say, I'd like extra vegetables?
Oh, sure.
You do?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for this time today. I
Oh,
really
it was fun.
appreciate
It was
it.
nice to talk to you, and I hope everybody learns to love their veggies.
I hope so too. Thanks very much, and we'll see you again in another Spike Bites.